and welcome once again to the telecourse for you, teachers of English. In the previous episode, we studied the various oral communication strategies. We presented classroom scenes which played up techniques like simulation and role play, consensus, discussion activities, and many more. In this episode, we shall focus on one-way oral communication. Can you still remember the 4 basic elements of communication? These 4 are sender, message, channel, and receiver. From this model, we can say that among all the elements involved in the process of communication, the agents involved in the roles of sender and receiver may alternate roles so that a direct exchange of ideas or oral interaction takes place. However, not all communication situations have to follow this model. There are a variety of situations where oral interaction seldom takes place, if at all, but still impart a message. Have you noticed that there is no oral interaction between the speaker and the audience? This speaker-audience situation, where oral interaction does not take place, is called one-way oral communication. What do you think do these different speakers wish to accomplish in their speeches? In most speaking situations, speakers try to fulfill one or more of the basic purposes of speech, of which there are 3, namely, to inform, to persuade, and to entertain. To illustrate this, let us look at this communication situation and determine what the purpose of the speaker in the scenario is.
Precipitation and evaporation are 2 processes involved in the water cycle. Precipitation is the movement of the water from the atmosphere to the earth, while evaporation is the movement of the water from the earth to the atmosphere. Runoff water from the rainfall travels through rivulets.
Classroom reporting is a communication situation we are familiar with. This kind of speech has the purpose to inform. What is a speech to inform? The speech to inform seeks to impart new knowledge and information. It also gives deeper insights into a topic that the listener already knows. Aside from reporting, what other kinds of communication situation do you think requires a speech to inform? Other situations could include a business presentation, a community announcement, a class lecture, or a chef or cook explaining the steps of a given recipe. What then is a speech to inform? It is a speech designed to enlighten or to instruct the listeners, to increase their knowledge, skill, or understanding, to let them know more about a subject or learn something new. An old college line claims that a lecture is a process in which information travels from the mouth of a professor to the notes of students without passing into the minds of either. Too often, that's true not only of classroom lectures, but also of a great many other speeches to inform. But the more important point to discuss is how to teach our students to deliver effective speeches to inform. What should our students remember when they deliver informative speeches? They have to observe the following. Emphasize how the listeners can benefit from the information. Tell your students that their information might make their tasks easier. It might save them time, improve their lives, or work on both. Let's see examples of that when we come back. Welcome back. Let's take the example of a student in one speech class giving a speech for students planning careers as journalists. She gave a talk to inform her audience about word processors. Early in the speech, she said,
I know that many of you will insist immediately that a word processor is too expensive to buy. But keep listening, and I'll explain just how you can get one for 15% less than the price asked for in any computer stores.
What can you say about that? That certainly kept her audience listening. The second thing students have to remember when they deliver informative speeches is to relate the information to the interest of the audience. If one is speaking to a group of high school students about efficient study techniques, some may be interested in how to learn faster, but others may only be interested in getting out of the meeting at which he or she is speaking. Still, he or she might be able to get them to listen to the suggestions if the speaker points out that faster studying will give them more time to do what they really want to do. Therefore, tell the students to think through just what it is that might be most relevant to the interest of a particular audience. The third guide students have to consider is for them to dream up ways of getting the audience to participate. Here are some of the possibilities. They can ask questions, both rhetorical and real, as in,
have you ever thought of saving lives through this small apparatus?
What is 5 times 5 plus 20?
Another way of getting the audience involved is to distribute a copy of the outline of the speech to help the listeners follow and remember important points. But speakers should remember that when they do so, they may as well lose the attention of some of the listeners. The solution is for them to distribute a very brief outline. Perhaps one keyword a point, so that the audience may be motivated to follow the speech more alertly. There are many ways to get the audience involved in the speech. One can give the audience forms to fill out, checklists to complete, quizzes to take as the speaker delivers. Be sure that such handouts do not distract from what the speaker is saying. Do not make them so elaborate that they do not listen. Use handouts with short questions, brief statements, simple checkpoints. You can likewise tell your students to present a statement. Then ask the audience to raise their hands if they've heard it before, believe it, or can use it. The last point in making speeches to inform effective is to make the information as interesting as possible. There are many tools in the speaker's bag in which you can use.